Am I audible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sir. Okay. Good morning, all the respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and dear participant. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this national webinar, The Power of Communication, Unlocking Your Full Potential. Actually, this event is organized by Shri Saraswati Vidya Prasarak Mandal, Srimati P.K. Kotecha, Mahila Mahavidyala, Bhusawal, District Jalgaon, in collaboration with Center for Learning, Research and Development. We are honored to have distinguished personality among us today. Let me take this opportunity to introduce our esteemed resource person, Dr. M. Sandra Carmel Sophia, Professor and RESC, Department of English, KLEF, deemed to be University, Greenfield, Vedeshwaram, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. We are also privileged to have with us Dr. Janvi Tadegavkar, Vice Principal, Srimati P.K. Kotecha, Mahila Mahavidyala, Bhusawal, Dr. Sharad Agrawal, Vice Principal, Srimati P.K. Kotecha, Mahila Mahavidyala, Bhusawal. The organizing team include Professor Nilesh S. Gurchal, Coordinator, then Dr. J.V. Dhanvij, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Kiran Kette, Coordinator, myself. The theme of today's webinar is the power of communication. Kindly mute your mic. Mohini Kate. The theme of today's webinar is the power of communication, unlocking your full potential, underscores the significance of communication in every facet of life. In today's interconnected world, the ability to communicate effectively is not just an essential skill, but a powerful tool to unlock personal and professional growth. Through this session, we aim to provide valuable insight into the nuance of communication, exploring its potential to inspire, connect, and create meaningful impacts. On this note, I hand over to our resource person, Dr. Sandra.
Yes, sir. So, can you hear me? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Okay. So, a pleasant morning to one and all present here on this virtual platform. And before I proceed into my talk, my presentation, I would like to express my gratitude to a couple of people who have been responsible and the backbone for me to make a presentation to be the resource person today for this academic program, which is very, very essential for all academicians, scholars, and educators and teachers. So I would like to begin my gratitude and look up to God, to the Alpha and the Omega, who has been generous enough to create a golden opportunity to me to be a part of this academic event today. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. Next, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizing team, the collaborative teams, two colleges, two institutions have come together to put up this academic show. And I'm indeed grateful to them, to the principals, the vice principals, the coordinators, the conveners, the co-conveners, And my special thanks are due to Dr. Karen Kette for giving me this fine platform to express and share a few of my views regarding the potential of communication. I actually met Sir in one of the groups, and when he posted that he needs a speaker, I immediately responded. I immediately communicated, my dear colleagues, my dear friends. And that is how today I'm able to be here with you, before you, feeling elated and proud to be the resource person. Thank you, Dr. Karen Kette, for placing your trust and confidence in me. I hope
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
will keep the banner of your institution and the collaborating college always soaring high. Thank you once again. Next, I thank my own own university, KLEF Deemed University, for the management,
One minute, ma'am.
for the deans. Sir,
Uh, I would like to draw the attention of all that Honorable Vice Principal of Srimati P.K. Kotecha Mahavidyala, Mahila Mahavidyala is in with us in this seminar.
sir.
So I welcome ma'am on the
Okay.
behalf of Center of Research, Learning and Development. Thank you, ma'am, for joining. Please
Thank
continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here, ma'am, the vice principal, madam, despite your busy schedule. I know it's a Sunday and all of us would love to take off and take some rest and relax and then have some chicken biryani or whatever. But sometimes we can't help it. So thank you all, my dear friends. And without wasting much time, last but not least, I would also extend my gratitude to the management of KLEF Deemed University, the head of the department, my colleagues, and my very, very dear scholars who are there in large numbers in this platform. If not for them, if not for their support and cooperation, I'm sure I wouldn't have made it this morning. Thank you once again, all of you. And let me straight go into the topic. I don't know to what extent I will be able to do justice, but I'm sure really I will make a mark and keep the banner of all the institutions flying
Sandra,
high. So the topic that I was asked to speak on today is,
काय म्हटलं?
sir, can you just zoom a bit, little?
हां. हां, नाही मी तुमचं वेलकम केलं आणि मॅडमनी पण वेलकम केलं.
So can you zoom my
हां, मग
PPT
ते
a little,
मगाशी
sir?
तुम्ही तिथले जॉईन झालेले. हां, हां, हां. रेकॉर्डिंग चालू आहे.
Hello.
हां, ओके. Yes,
Ma'am,
madam.
everyone can zoom their screen.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, so the topic is the power of communication, unlocking your full potential. The words are self explanatory, and every word shows how powerful, how potent communication should be. So I'm very happy to handle this particular topic. And so, my dear colleagues and scholars and students, let's ponder for some time on this particular topic, and because that is a need of the hour, and all of us right now, after the advent of science and technology, I'm sure we are in a haze. We are very in a chaos, not knowing to whether to implement ICT tools or whether to follow the traditional modes of communication. So at this juncture, I very much, very convincingly, very firmly tell you that nothing has got immense potent, immense potency as the power of communication that comes through the mouth of human beings. So, all that we communicate by word of mouth is very, very important, through which really we can interact, have exchanges of dialogues with others, with people around us, and we can use communication for different purposes. So, all that very simply we are going to discuss and see how best and what best we can get out of this particular session. Now, to make a beginning, I have actually made contributed one slide to literary quotes. And I gave the title Nostalgic because I am a very passionate lover of literature, and my teaching experience is based on literature. I have 25 years of teaching MA English students. I would love to quote this each time whenever I'm making a presentation, my dear colleagues, my dear students, my dear scholars, because literature has communicated so much. There is lots of potency, power in literary texts or literature, which has really transformed me, my personal life, my professional career. So, the way these books have communicated, the way these literary artists have communicated through their works, have really impacted my career, my personality. And always, I love to begin making a presentation with the allusions to literary quotes. So just very quickly, we will go through. Let's look at the unchallenged champion of English literature, a man of all seasons, though he is no more with us, but still, he's a living legend, and he's none other than William Shakespeare. Now, he has in his Hamlet, we all of us are very, very familiar with the four tragedies of William Shakespeare, and one such, greatest tragedy of all times is Hamlet. And look at the words that Shakespeare, has employed in order to communicate the dialogues, the intentions, the perceptions of the characters. So, give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. So, this particular quotation and reference from Hamlet tells us that we need to listen when people are communicating. Much more, okay, we need to communicate, and all the more we should be able to make judgments while we are communicating with people around us. So that is how William Shakespeare was able to communicate to his audience, to his readers. And all these words, his communication is coming alive. It is still alive in the ears, in the minds, and in the hearts of all readers and common people. Thanks to William Shakespeare, my dear colleagues and friends, for the way he has communicated and written, okay, and produced literature and literary pieces of enduring value. And the next quotation is by, again, Jane Austen. In her novel Persuasion, very beautifully, she was able to communicate. We can feel the power of communication in the novel through the following lines. She had been forced into prudence in her youth. She learned romance as she grew older, the natural sequel of unnatural beginning. See, look at every word. They seem very simple, my dear colleagues, my dear scholars, my dear friends. But every word, if you analyze and interpret, they have got pregnant of meaning, wealth of meaning, which communicates so well. And naturally, the audience and the readers are carried away by what is being communicated. If you look at Virginia Woolf, who's a 20th century, feminist woman novelist, in one of her texts titled A Room of One's Own, it's a very good book. All of us, we should read it. If any of us have skipped it reading when we were studying, or for some reasons, I really advise you to go through it, because it is a wonderful piece of communication where Virginia Woolf has been able to capture the attention of the readers and the audience through the way, through her language, through the words, through her sentences, and she was able to communicate. So it goes like this. If you do not tell the truth about yourself, You cannot tell it about other people. So, dear friends, when we communicate, we need to be honest. We need to be transparent. We need to be very convincing. That is what Virginia Woolf means to say. And that is how people, okay, the readers, the audience will be the spectators or onlookers, whoever it is, depending on the situation and context that we are communicating, people will be attracted, okay, to what we are trying to share and tell them. Next, Harry Potter. You have J.K. Rowling. Differences of habit and language are nothing at all if our aims are identical and our hearts are open. So again, this particular line also tells us that one needs to communicate so well. Languages may differ, our habits, our perceptions may differ, but the way we communicate, if you can fine tune your communication skills, my dear friends, I'm sure we will be able to make a mark, okay, and be successful both in our professional and personal life. And next, we have Khalil Gibran. It goes like this: between what is said and not meant, and what is meant and not said, most of love is lost. So one should be very careful to communicate well, the way we use our words, the way we use our emotions and feelings. All these play a very, very important role when we communicate. And that is, of course, the power of communication. And next one, Fyodor Dostoevsky, again in one of his finest novels, Crime and Punishment. He says, talking nonsense is man's only privilege that distinguishes him from all other organisms. Yeah, this is something very hilarious, my dear friends. Sometimes from nonsense also, good things come out. From nonsense also, so much can be communicated. It is like, to go back to the words of the absurd, writers. Especially there was this, Henry Bergson, Samuel Beckett, and even Albert Camus. Albert Camus, in one of his novels, very very beautifully says, "We find meaning in meaninglessness." I repeat, we find meaning in meaninglessness. And something like this, we have Fyodor Dostoevsky telling us, out of nonsense. So even nonsense can be communicated in the best manner possible, in a refined manner, my dear friends. So that is what he means to say. And of course, the last one by Maya Angelou, she says, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside. So it's better that we express, we come out, we bring it out. Let's not be in the cocoons. Let's not have our thoughts and ideas and notions within us. Let's not have pent up feelings. Let us communicate. And let's not carry the burden on our shoulders. That is what Maya Angelou meant when she said, and it also talks to us about the power of communication. Is it okay? Is it okay, my dear friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I running too fast? Am I running too fast?
No, no.
Okay, fine. Okay, sir. Yeah, now look at the next slide. Now, why this communication matters? It's a big question. And I'm sorry to cut a sorry figure because these days all of us are so used to, so habituated to technological gadgets that we have become really slaves to them. And we are not really bothered about communicating manually or by word of mouth. So we are like typing messages, for example, or leaving some mail messages, or we are following the Insta. And that is how we are trying to communicate to people. But I tell you, my dear friends and colleagues, words that come from the mouth, the power of communication is so much so that, we can actually bring the roof down and make all things successful, peaceful, happy. And we can also create some very good profiles, say, for example, both for the institutions and also for our own personal life. through the way, by the way that we are able to communicate. So this question is, very, very important. Why communication matters? It's like, the oxygen. It's like the air we breathe. If you don't communicate, you're not going to get anything, I'm sure. Unless we communicate, unless we share our ideas and feelings, unless we express our emotions to others, unless you interact with others, I'm sure we are not going to display or exhibit our caliber, our talents, and our potentialities. And at the same time, we also will not be able to achieve what we are supposed to get. See, unless you speak, only people will be able to understand what you require, or what intentions you have, what knowledge you have in your mind, or how much of what is the percentage of knowledge that you have, what is the information source that you have. So unless we communicate, we will not be able to really prove or show the world that we are very good communicators, we are very good speakers. So communication does matter for each one of us. There is no hard and fast rule that communication is only for this particular intellectual group or coterie or academicians, scholars or students, and no. Everyone in the world needs to communicate something or the other. Sharing is very, very important. Dissemination of knowledge is very important for us to make a mark in our career, both professional and personal life. So definitely communication matters a lot. If the literary artists, if the authors of literature who have penned some enduring pieces of enduring value and immortal pieces, they wouldn't have been remembered today. And I'm sure universities and colleges wouldn't have quoted or incorporated their texts into the syllabus, into the curriculum. So the way these artists, literary artists or writers have communicated through their writings, through their works, through their poems, poetry, short story, any genre, it is only because of that we are able to remember them, because we are reading them today, we are studying them, and that is how we remember them. We are making use of these writers. So communication is very, very important. And just look at those words there, experience, ability, growth, advanced training, any kind of a normal training to become competent, to get some learning, to get some knowledge. So there are different variety of reasons, my dear friends. There are ample opportunities or ample reasons, expansive reasons why communication matters so much. So can you move on to the next one? Yeah, all of us are very familiar with all these fundamental, meaning and definitions of communication. But still, let's understand the word, because I would like to cite some examples from, real life. Despite listening to so many workshops, seminars, participating in conferences, listening to talks, listening to podcasts, listening to the classes, especially the students belonging to this particular generation, they are not able to answer a single question. They are not able to, understand the meaning of what communication is all about. They are not able to express their feelings and emotions. So sometimes, as teachers, we also fail to do that. So, it's better that we learn things repeatedly than being ignorant and innocent and living in a fool's paradise. So let's understand the word communication. So we all know communication is interaction of interaction between two people. Okay, it is a process of sharing information. Yes, ideas. We share some notions. We also share our emotions, our feelings, our sentiments, and it is It is the need of the hour. It is very important that all of us share our knowledge, we communicate with others for many reasons, as I've already put it. And John Powell, very beautifully, he has, defined communication in the following words. Communication works for those who work at it. See, my dear fellow teachers and my dear scholars, one should not remain quiet. You should try making attempts to communicate. Even if you are wrong, it doesn't matter because eventually we will try to learn how to communicate. So, constantly, consistently, one has to keep on communicating, and that is how your communication skills or communication becomes refined, and you will be able to speak or give very good orations. You will be able to become the resource persons. You will be able to teach, and you will also be able to teach to students or tell or share information to students whenever they ask or whenever they approach us. So for communication is the foundation stone. It is like the brick, cement, mortar, clay, whatever materials are used by the masons or engineers for the construction of a building. Communication is the cornerstone, the foundation stone for relationships to be strengthened, to be enhanced. It is also important for personal growth and success. All of us know this, common formula, the simple formula. But the question is, how many of us are able to really communicate? How many of us are really able to display, bring out the potentialities, the hidden potentialities and caliber of communicating that we possess within us? Because communication, skills are innate. They are inborn in us. But the point is, how many of us are able to develop them in the course of our life is the point. So, communication is the art of persuasion. Now, when we speak, my dear friends, we should be speak in such a way that people are of what we are saying. Sometimes it happens. I don't say that we have to speak some nonsense and exert things. But sometimes, even lies will have to be spoken as if we are speaking the truth. It has to be communicated in the way as if that is the only truth. So, because sometimes we need to get certain things done. Like, just one silly instance I would like to give you. If you need leave, if you need a casual leave and take off for one day, you kill so many people. You kill, especially students of these days, this generation, they always try to kill their grandparents as many times as possible. And that is how they convince the teachers in the class, they convince the heads of the departments and others, because they need to take off 1 or 2 days. Sometimes, all the time we cannot live in the world of illusion, mind you, my dear friends. But what I'm trying to tell you is the way you communicate convincingly and persuade others by making use of language and words and sentences in such a way that people believe what you are saying is 100% true, 100% honest, 100% right. So it is an art of persuasion. It is the ability to adapt messages to diverse audiences. Now, when we communicate, my dear friends, we also need to have the target group. The target audience are very, very important. Just because I'm an expert, I'm proficient, I'm advanced, or I'm very good at eloquent speaker in English, it doesn't mean that I'll have to dump everything into the readers or the audience who are listening. I should also ensure that the audience whom I'm trying to communicate are, like they belong to this particular student community or faculty community or scholars or academicians, lay people, illiterates, literates, different class of people. Accordingly, one has to fine tune and shape and design, the communication skills and that is how we try to disseminate knowledge. And again, John Dewey, he has quoted very beautifully telling society exists not only by communication, but in communication. You see, there is a vast difference in these two, expressions. We just don't survive because we are communicating. Communication should not be merely bread and butter, but you should all the time live in communicating. That is very, very important. Okay, so both the way we communicate and what we communicate, how we communicate becomes very, very important. And again, I have quoted Virginia Woolf. You see, she says to communicate is to bring the unseen into light. Communication brings out the camouflaged things or ideas or notions. So what is there hidden, what is there subtle, can also be brought to limelight or brought to light through the power of your communication, my dear, teachers and my dear scholars, my dear friends. And therein lies the art of the potential of how well you are able to, design, pattern, format your ideas, thoughts, your notions, and for communication. So that is what is communication. It is not because I'm a fluent speaker, I know so much of English, I communicate. No. The way you communicate, the way you, compress all the knowledge that you possess and make it brief and precise, that is the art of communication. And Virginia Woolf has used communication, through art and literature, and that is how she has been able to give voice to the marginalized. When I say marginalized here, I'm talking about the women, because she was all the time as a feminist supporting, advocating, fostering, promoting values that facilitate, that promotes, that supports women. So that is how, through her language, through her communication, she was able to, produce literary works and give voice to the, invisible sources. And of course, you see, communication also, it is used by literary, philosophical, and scholarly writers. So, as I told you at the beginning, my dear friends, everyone under the roof, all people, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, sex, gender, everyone has to communicate at some point or the other, at some point in time or the other. Every day we communicate, no doubt about it. But sometimes these days, especially, we need to talk more. We need to communicate more and communicate in the right manner. Bring out your potential. Bring out the power of your communication that is already there. As I told you, these skills, these communication skills are innate. They are inherent in each one of us. It all depends on how you are able to put them in the right track. And that is how you're able to create a kind of a magic realism in the mind and hearts of your listeners and audience. If you look at the next slide, yeah. Now, very quickly, this also, we know it already, but as I told you, sometimes we are ignorant. Or I keep giving lectures like this, and when deliberations are going on, when questions are posed, my dear friends, most of us are not able to answer. Even at this point of time, when we are educators par excellence. So let's recall, there is nothing wrong in learning because learning is a continuous process. So different types of communication through which we can disseminate, share our knowledge, our thinking. So we have verbal communication, which involves speaking. Okay, that is what most of us do. We do, and that is the first thing, in fact, that we do. So the important point when we are communicating, when we are speaking, is the tone of voice. I think I'll come back to it much later. Next, vocabulary. Yeah, these two things I'll spend more time and emphasize a little bit. Okay, so vocabulary. Nonverbal communication is, of course, we all know, use of body language, using the right kind of gestures, postures, facial expressions, proxemics, eye contacts, okay, because all these also are the powerful elements of communication. Next is written communication, of course, especially when there is an intrusion, when there is an intervention of information and communication technology and technological gadgets. All of us are into, implementing, using these gadgets so much so that we have actually lost touch with the communication by word of mouth. So we are using emails, text messages, we are using Instagram, social media, all that. Visual communication also, yes, dear friends, our potential for communication can also be conveyed by the from the way we are using graphics or images or some nice pictures. Everything and anything you don't select, depending on the context and situation and the topic and the audience group. You try to pick up some good images, some good pictures, and make a visual representation through which you will be communicating all the more effectively, especially say for intermediate students, or high school students, or even the kindergarten students. If you can stoop down to that particular level and add some pictures and images, suggesting, symbolizing, those target group, definitely, your communication becomes very, very effective, and students will understand. Students of that age group or that particular class will be able to understand you much better, because you have interspersed, incorporated images and pictures or words into your teaching or into your presentation. So that is what is all about graphics, charts, and videos. That is visual communication. So the next one is now, what are the favors of skillful? Like, when we say favors, please, it is merits, demerits, or I'm sorry, advantages, and what are the benefits that we get out of communicating very, very skillfully. Okay, because communication is at the same time a very delicate thing. One has to be very, very careful. See, if the parents beat their children at home physically, the child cries for some time, and when you offer a chocolate or an ice cream, they melt. The children melt. They become so happy, and immediately they stop crying. But the power of words is such that when somebody expresses something negative, some words or sentences that is not appealing, that is unpleasant, unrefined, uncivilized, it remains a psychological mark. It's like a psychological trauma, that the marginalized, or even the underdogs or the underprivileged experience. So, my dear teachers, fellow teachers, and my dear scholars and friends, the way we use words, the way we communicate, the way we use our sentences, the way we express our feelings and emotions, one should be very, very cautious, alert, and very careful. I told you in the beginning, it doesn't mean that you will have to simply use words or use language to communicate just because you possess lots of expertise. But you should be very careful when you are communicating, to make your communication effective, to show that you are a potent speaker. You are an effective speaker, efficient speaker, very good speaker. The way you have communicated is absolutely, up to the mark and outstanding, remarkable. Then we need to, it all depends on using your skills of communication, which will definitely bring you laurels and accolades. So, the power of communication, my dear friends, is there very much within us. Again, the point, the question is, to what extent are you utilizing these human resources that are available even within you? Or how many of us are able to use these skills and talents that we possess? Is the question, is the point. So let's see, what are we going to get? What is it that we are going to absolutely attain or accomplish, after unlocking the potential for our communication, the different things that we have within us. Okay, how we use them. What exactly am I going to, benefit by using these, the potential qualities or caliber or traits that I possess, in my communication. So let's look at one by one. Definitely, the way we communicate, my dear friends, it builds lots of trust, confidence, reliability. These days, again, reliability, trust, and confidence is very, very important because people have become too materialistic. After the intervention, after the emergence of science and technology, I can say that people have lost values, ethical values, moral values, human values have been lost. And we are giving more importance and focus to all these ICT gadgets or electronic gadgets. So, where is a question of human relationships? And as a consequence, what is happening? We are not placing trust and confidence between each other. So, the way you can communicate, the way you communicate will definitely it should inculcate trust and confidence and strengthen good relationships between two people. It can be the teacher or the students or academicians or the scholars or academicians and the common people or the public, anyone. So the power of communication or the skills makes us trustworthy people. Next is definitely communication. Okay, the potential within us helps us to build teamwork. It all depends on how you communicate. See, like it's just like Dr. Kiran sir and Kiran Kette sir and me have communicated only through WhatsApp. I haven't seen him. He hasn't seen me. But we have communicated so well through WhatsApp that we are able to, we are able to succeed today. He, as a coordinator, the organizer of this event, this program, and me as a speaker of this academic event. I feel so proud and elated actually. When Sir said it is a Sunday, I felt a little upset, disappointed. But at the same time, it was a boon to me Sunday. Having this presentation on a Sunday was a boon to me because I didn't have to adjust my classes and very freely sitting in my house, I thought I can do justice, I can convince, I can make a mark. So that is how, we have built teamwork now and we are doing collaborative work. So my dear teachers, there may be some senior teachers also in this group. I tell you that it is all a matter of, potential communication, using the skills that you have, that you own, that you possess, will definitely be able to make you collaborate with people across the globe, not just, within regions and states or even within, the next, communications also help us to resolve conflicts. Yes, the quarreling also can be done in a very refined manner, in a very polished manner. We let's not come to blows and become violent and furious like women at the tap. When illiterate women or rural women from the background, when they go near the tap, what they do is, when they miss some track or when the line is disturbed, in filling the water, you see that they become too nasty and, they start fighting and quarreling. But here, such quarrels as academicians, we as academicians can also solve it through the way that we communicate with the others by making use of very good words and sentences, and also exhibiting the appropriate and suitable emotions and feelings. So that is how conflicts also can be resolved. And definitely communication, it boosts our morale, our confidence. You keep on communicating. It is communication is an art. The more you practice, the more you will learn. You will become civilized. You will learn so much. You will realize, my dear friends, that automatically, unconsciously, you have spoken so much, you have said the right thing, and you have learned so many things. So it is an act of self expression. I tell you, unless you express yourself openly, honestly, transparently, unless one has a very good self profile, we cannot survive the global market, which is demanding so high today. The global market is highly demanding, competitive, very challenging, and all of us need to fulfill the requirements and meet the demands of a globalization. That is very, very sure. And you can write it anywhere. And after years, maybe, okay, you can tell me, yes, ma'am, what you said is right. So communication is an act of self-expression. Unless I express, see, this is a platform for me to express and prove myself today to Dr. Karen Ketta that I can do wonders. I can bring him laurels. I can bring him reputation because of the way that I'm communicating, because I'm convinced. And I understand, I realize that I'm doing justice. I'm righteous in what I'm doing, my dear, friends. So self-expression, communication is important for self-expression. And then it also facilitates personal and professional growth or success. Keep on communicating, do the best, bring out the best in you, bring out the hidden talents in you, bring out the subtle talents in you, and try to market. Sometimes we need to market them. You have to sell your talents. When I say selling, it's not like going about and sitting in the market and telling that please come and buy my talents, please come and buy my skills. No, what I mean to say is, because most of the time we are diffident, we don't come out of our shells and cocoons. We want to keep all our talents and the skills which gets rusted, unburnished, to use the words of Ulysses. Towards the use of Ulysses, Alfred Lord Tennyson in his Ulysses, to stand, to remain unburnished. Even in Ulysses, very beautifully, Tennyson, puts it in the mouth of Ulysses, telling that to follow knowledge like a sinking star, to follow knowledge, to go about knowledge, to make use of all the talents so that it becomes refined, it becomes polished, you become, you excel, you accomplish what you desire, what you dream. And definitely, my dear, friends, communication skills, try unlocking, start unlocking, don't lock it up. The key is there, both the lock and the key is present in each one of us. So, it depends. The ball is in our court. Let's decide which side we are going to, throw it. And when we talk about real life applications, definitely communication is all the more important in the workplaces, in our professions, in the jobs that we are doing. See, unless you communicate, unless you express, what you have, you cannot really make a mark, because it also again enhances or strengthens your teamwork, and also it displays the leadership qualities that you possess. The way you communicate, immediately people will understand. People will be convinced, my dear friends, that you will turn out to be, you will make a very good leader. So such is a kind of a potential communication, or skills that one has to display and one has to exhibit and use, for different purposes. Next, communication for personal life, strengthening relationships, at home, the way we communicate, the communication between the husband and the wife, the parents and the children and other siblings, ancestors, grandparents, great grandparents. It all is a matter of communication. We can, convince people, pacify our elders and tell them that this is wrong. You're too nagging. Don't try to be nagging. Okay, don't try to be too what to say, too strict, too harsh. You can tell them in a very, very beautiful, in a very pleasing, appealing manner. And therein lies your potential for communication. And next, okay, conflict resolution. Already we have discussed, it's a common ground, communication, okay, and public speaking, yes. Okay, this is, I can say one kind of a public speaking because I'm representing my institution. I'll have to be very careful. I'll have to be very careful. I'll have to mind my words and language and sentences and my notions, my concept, the topic, the content. I'll have to be very, very careful when I'm communicating, my dear friends, because I'm getting across myself, okay, internationally or maybe globally, and representing both myself and also my institution. And based on this, we can say that all of us need to possess some basic ingredients, or basic. It's like variety is the spice of life, or spices add flavor and masala, to cooking, and it gives not just color. It does not add okay color, but it gives taste. We all relish. Okay, so the way we communicate should be relishing, my dear friends. It should be very tasty. It should be very effective. Go back to John Keats, who has used all the five senses, okay, in his odes. John Keats has used all the five senses. That is, when readers begin to read his poems, Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to Psyche, or Ode to Autumn, any of his odes, especially I'm very fond of this Ode to a Nightingale. Very beautifully he ensures he has used words in such a way that the reader, the five senses of the reader's body are involved. It goes into the reading of the poems. Very beautiful. That is how he was able to communicate. The sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, the sense of what is that? Auditory, olfactory. Yes, so beautifully, the very opening lines, of this ode to a Nightingale tells, what is that? With my mouth stained, okay, what is it? Beaded bubbles brinking in the brim. Beaded bubbles. He compares the bubbles of the grape, the wine, to the beaded bubbles which keeps winking like the eyes of a human being. Beautiful, beautiful, very attractive. For that matter, all the poets, okay, all the poets, most of them have made use of the five senses, or the way they have communicated through the power of their words shows that they are very, very effective artists and writers of all times. So quickly, let's go through this ingredients of effective communication. What should we do to become effective speakers? How should I communicate effectively and become efficient speakers? Clarity. Let's be very, very clear, very concise. And dear friends, clarity comes out of thorough preparation. Clarity does not come simply when your pronunciation, your accent is good, or your voice is too loud. It's very good. It's marvelous. No, thorough preparation, because you will get that lucidity and flow. If you prepare well, you will have that flow to speak. You will not speak in bits and pieces. That flow should be there. That continuity, that consistency in your speech and your presentation should be there. For that clarity, okay, you should be clear in what you are trying to communicate. Next, listening. We also should listen in order to reproduce what we have listened. So listening again to different things. It's not just listening to radios or TVs, idiot boxes and silver screen, all that. No, listening to what superiors tell you, what our elders are, everything comes under this. So one should also listen to be a very good communicator. And feedback, every now and then try asking your friends, your teachers, your superiors, your elders, your peers, anyone associated with you, ask them every now and then. How did I perform? How did I fare well? Is it good? Should I make some corrections? Should I modify? Should I rectify something? Sometimes you will get destructive criticism. Sometimes you will get constructive criticism, my dear friends. Both are important. And more destructive criticism, when I say destructive criticism, something that hurts people, when they speak or when they make use of sentences, when they give you some comments, it may sound very harsh. You may not be happy with it. It may be too negative. But I tell you that definitely it's going to help us grow and rectify and become successful people. Next is, so feedback is very essential, and adaptability very important. Fine tune yourself to the audience. Target audience, target group is very important. If you know beforehand, these people, these are the ones who are going to be your audience, well and good. Accordingly, you will prepare. But extempore, if you know that your audience are, they are multicultural audience, multilingual audience, all categories of people, then you will know from the throb of it, what they are and who they are, and from the way they sit and in a group or in a crowd and all that. Accordingly, you have to tailor your communication to suit the needs of the audience. Yeah, next, please. Yeah, I just thought I should touch upon technology, though it may be off track, but we need to. So the role of technology in communication, as I told you already, people have become so dependent, especially the youth. I'm sorry to say, adolescents. Sometimes, very rarely, all of us also, because we are too dependent on technology and everything technology is doing for us. Now, where is it that we are using to unlock our skills, to unlock our potential? Are we doing it? Though we possess them, though we have the power of communication, we are not doing it, because all the time we have ready-made things available for us. Things are there like a hot pieces of cake, and we are just happily using them and not trying to improve or enhance our skills that is already there in us. Now, how will we excel in life? How will we become professional or successful people? There is no point in blaming. I tell you that we are responsible. Each of us is responsible for what we are going to be, what is happening to us. It all depends on how you framework, how you design your career and become successful. So, technology, let's not depend too much on the technology, and use technology for our communication, which will dampen our creative spirits, our innovative quality. We do possess lots of creativity, through which we are able to create something new and something innovative. Let's continue to be unique by using communication by word of mouth, and maybe every now and then, or very often, or very seldom, use these channels of technology just to make it ornamental or decorative. Even I'm telling you very frankly and openly, I'm not for using PPT at all. I can give presentations without anything. But people are so used to visualizing something in the form of a PPT or slide, I don't know what. So I just had to prepare. I'm sure I'm not happy with the content that is there inside the slides. I don't know. I'm justifying myself. I know it. But because of the audience today, this morning's presentation, I thought I'll have to, because we are so used to PPT. Now, if I don't, use a PPT, if I don't use technology, immediately the participants will question Dr. Kiran sir. Sir, why don't you send the PPT, or do we have the PPT? All sorts of questions keep coming because we are so habituated. We have become so lethargic, in fact. Okay, we have become so languid or dull that we don't want to even, words are like diamonds for us. We don't want to open our mouth and speak and communicate because everything is done by the electronic gadgets. So let's use let's use let's have minimum use of technology in our communication, so that our communication, our potential that we have in the human mind and the human body becomes attractive, becomes very important, becomes significant. That comes to limelight, and we excel. So we know technology is doing us lots of assistance today, but I really don't, I'm not for the use of technology. Okay, because yeah, we have become machines, we have become slaves to it. Any question, any topic we want, okay, including me, we are going to chat gpt, or we are, these days we also have this artificial intelligence. See, again I tell you, artificial intelligence has come up, but again, it has to be operated only by human beings. So manual work, manual power is very important, manpower is very important. So that is how all of us possess the communication, the power of communication, which we only have to unlock it. So try loosening it for the benefit of our own self, and also for the sake of the others, and of course our own professional success. Next. Yeah, so improving cultural understanding through communication, definitely through communication we are able to understand other people's ethnicities, cultures, which is very very important. Culture plays a very pivotal role in communication. So accordingly, if one communicates well, we will be able to assimilate, understand the cultures of other people, and make again our life very, very beautiful, very peaceful, and very, very, smooth. So communication is essential for global connectivity, as you see there. Literary access, all the, books that are available, okay, are, most of them are only in English. Of course, we have another vernacular local languages, I don't say no. But since English is the lingua franca, common language, most of the sources, materials, whatever is available in the world today is available in the English language. And English language acts as a potential tool for human communication. English language is one and only one language which helps human beings to come together, because it is a universal language, it is a common language that people are using it all across the globe today. So your communication can be strengthened all the more when you make use of a common language like English, and excel in your career. So then effective communication, as we have already discussed. So for all these reasons, definitely the power of each one should have this audacity, I say, to unlock your potential in order to communicate with the world, okay, with the people around. Yeah, so these are a few strategies for improvement. You have vast number of tips and techniques on how to improve your communication. I just have picked up very few ones. Active listening, we have already discussed. Listen carefully and see what is it that that is important to you. Try implementing them, try practicing them using what you have listened, and try incorporating them in your presentations, in your studies, in your writings. Definitely that will be of great help. It improve your body language. Yeah, communication, dear teachers, dear friends, when we are communicating, it is not just through word of mouth that we are communicating. Your non-verbal communication, body language is equally important. Of course, these days we are having online, forget about it. But where physical presentations are going on, where offline presentations or conferences, teaching, or whatever academic activity is going on, along with the spoken communication or oral communication, my dear friends, body language, use of body language employing body language simultaneously is very, very important. These two things will have to be balanced to make your communication effective. And when I say body language, the way you stand, the postures, the gestures, the eye contacts that you have with people, irrespective of the number of audience or the group of people you have, and then your facial expressions, very, very important. Your body movements, very important. You may be given a podium, but try coming out of that particular location or place just to give that close touch, that intimate touch to the audience, so that they feel that you're going closer to them. They will be motivated to listen, they will be interested to listen. So it's like, we go in the classes to very near our students. Okay. So, maintaining, what is that, proper body language, and then physical appearance. Very, very important. As part of body language, non-verbal communication, my dear friends, okay, our potential for communication is also displayed and exhibited through our physical appearance. The way you dress up, the way you carry your outfit, the way the choice of colors, your the way, the kind of the attire, the garments, the outfits that you wear, depending on the context and situation, official, non-official, unofficial situations, my dear friends, definitely it's going to play a very big, huge role. It's going to play a very huge role, your physical appearance. And I tell you, at the first instance, when people look at the physical appearance, it's like first impression is the best impression. People, start assessing. They start assuming so many things. They start making judgments that, based on your appearance. So through your appearance also, you communicate. So let's maintain proper eye contacts and body language, and also physical appearance. Emotional intelligence. Don't become too emotional when we are communicating. Of course, we are all human beings. To err is human. We become very furious, wild, and short-tempered. So we burst out when someone questions off the track, when when absurd questions come, or sometimes even when things are relevant. Also, because basically that instinct, that feeling of what to say, that trait of short-temperedness is there within us. So we burst out. So let's try to lessen them and see what best you can do to communicate, okay, through, our emotions, because emotional intelligence, earlier it was intelligence quotient, IQ. IQ, that was, the industry soft skills term. Today, my dear friends, EQ has become very, very significant. Emotional quotient is very, very, important. So let's not try to, what is that, display negative emotions and feelings, but, let's maintain a very cool, calm composure, so that, we attract large number of audience and people, through our communication. And at times, if need be, these days, again, as per digital humanities, we have, storytelling methods. So try interspersing some small anecdotes or stories, or try making your classes using the storytelling methods to make your communication effective and better. So these are the few things I wanted to highlight and show to the listeners today. So the next one. Yeah, I just also wanted to touch upon these barriers to effective communication, because we do have lots. Just now I got a phone call. No, because it turned out to be a barrier for me, but of course, I didn't attend or answer. Now that shows the kind of commitment and dedication that one should have towards, any task, academic task or responsibility that is given, that is assigned to us. So we come across lots of barriers when we are communicating. Maybe when we are listening, or when we are talking, when we are making a presentation. Noise components, our friends may disturb, or some sounds may come from the class, or technical issues, network issues, or maybe phones we get, or maybe quarrel at home, or the ambience, the cleanliness of the place the location that we are living also turns out to be a barrier. But if we can overcome all these challenges, my dear friends, we are good communicators. Undoubtedly, we can become efficient, effective, and very eloquent communicators. And there lies our potential. The power of our communication lies in the way that we are able to balance and overcome, okay, these barriers to communication. Okay, so that is what I just wanted to talk about. Barriers to communication. Irrespective of the barriers, we should be strong. We should have concentration. We should focus. We should be focused. We should not be disturbed. Let's not upset the apple cart because someone is going on disturbing or something is disturbing me. But we should be focused. We should be unidirectional, and definitely we will succeed. And that shows our potential, okay, for communication. Next, please. Yeah, so I just want to conclude. I hope I have not taken much of your time. Yeah, exactly. I think 1 hour and 12 minutes, or maybe 1 hour, because I expressed my gratitude and took a few couple of minutes in the beginning. So conclusion is, I would like to say that communicating is very important, my dear friends. Okay, it shows the power that lies hidden within each one of us. Okay, and communicating in English language is absolutely the burning issue, the talk of the town, the need of the hour. And if we can not just communicate simply, but as teachers of English, as scholars of English, as students of English, and even other, some of my other friends, from other departments, from the Department of Law, they are there. So, every realm, okay, in today's world, today's academic, activities needs communication, first point. Secondly, okay, last and final point, communicating in English is all the more essential. So let's not stick on to our local languages, because that's not going to help us in any way. Maybe at home we can start using our mother tongue. But we as teachers of English and students of English, or belonging to the English community of fraternity, I would love to advise you. It's not an advice exactly, but I would love to suggest to you all that let's communicate, but communicate in a common universal language, English, which will really take her, help us to scale great heights and become successful people. Okay, especially when this world is has become a global landscape. And I have just one last slide, I think. I want all of us to ponder on this. I've put it as reflections. Again, I have quoted, some lines from some important literary figures. Friends, I would love to tell you openly, honestly, transparently, very convincingly, boldly, I am a strong, passionate lover of literature. If I'm able to speak today and make a presentation on this, scale, it's quite a big scale. It's quite a big, what is that, location. Yes, it is only because of literature, the books, everything pertaining to literature has communicated so well. I have read them. I have, practiced. I have used them. I have absorbed some of these important allusions, quotations, words, sentences, idioms, whatever. And that is still there as an indelible mark in my mind. And I'm able to, okay, this information of literature, okay, has been able to, transform, change my life. So I would like to just give you one takeaway. The objective of all education is transformation. Okay, the objective of all education is communication, helping us to, achieve transformation. Communication, education, transformation. So These are, I want all of us to reflect on these, few quotations. And you see the last line: hail communication, hail literature, hail English communication. Friends, you need not go to any spoken English classes, you need not go to any coaching classes or take up some tutorials. All we can do is just unlock the potential, the skills that we have, start using them, and have great exposure to what is going on, what is happening around us globally. So, with these few words, I wish to say, let's be the salt of the earth and light of the world, because salt adds flavor and light, gives, it spreads the knowledge of, the fragrance of knowledge to our students. So, with these few words, once again, I say a big thank you, and thank you all. Over to Dr. Kiran Ketta, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It's really indeed a overwhelming session. Ma'am has emphasized effective communication is the backbone of personal professional success, holding the key to unlocking our full potential. When we communicate effectively, we convey our ideas with clarity, build strong relationship, and drive meaningful outcomes. The power of communication lies in its ability to break down barriers, fostering fostering the collaboration, inspire others to take action. By mastering the arts of communication, we can articulate our vision, negotiate with confidence, and persuade others to share our perspective. Ultimately, unlocking the power of communication empower us to achieve our goals, realize our aspiration, and reach new heights of success. Thank you very much, ma'am, for such a insightful and encouraging session. And I hope everyone means there will be no problem if anyone wants to ask any query, any doubt, problem. The session is open for 5 minutes, or then we will conclude. Anyone?
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sir, please.
Ma'am, in your last slide, a quotation by John Joseph Powell, you said that in effective communication is 20% what you know and 80% how you feel about what you know. It was a quotation by John Joseph Powell. And
Yes.
similar to that, but my question is about the right approach of the speaker, those who communicate.
Yes.
And the right approach, how would you effectively enhance the efficacy of communication? For example, as a teacher, when I go to class, and sometimes I may feel that I have to show off my knowledge, and I may cross my boundaries and keep on talking, as you have rightly pointed out. Or also sometimes, my lack of confidence in my subject may hinder that, I have to cover up my ignorance. So uh, the right approach, like for example, if I have, make my student understand the concept that in the best possible way that I can. So what do you think about the approach or attitude of the speaker to the audience?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. So, as teachers or as facilitators, educators, it's good that we inculcate, or we have this positive attitude, friendly, loving attitude. Sometimes unconsciously in the class, we may be a little extra or speak something extra, but there is always this chance for all of us to, tell the students in the class that, you can just apologize. Okay, it may be a very silly answer that I'm giving you, But what I usually do is because we know so much sometimes, as you have said, and it becomes very difficult to exactly frame it or make it precise. So in such conditions, we can be very friendly, tell them that after the class is over, that you have taken much of their time, and it is because of the knowledge or the wide reading or the voracious reading that you have done, or the knowledge that you possess, and you have received from others, and that is how you can with the right kind of a positive attitude, you can always make the listeners or the people, okay, the public, understand them, and that is how you can still balance your communication well.
Thank you, madam. That was so informative. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I think ma'am has already given a lot of information, and we have also exceeded our time. So I invite Professor Nilesh Gurchal, coordinator of this webinar from Srimati P.K. Kotecha Mahavidyala, Bhusawal, to give a vote of thanks. Sir, hand over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. It's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee, Shri P.K. Kotecha Mahila Mahavidyala Bhusawal. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guest speaker, M. Sandra, Carmel, Sophia, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise with us today. Your knowledge and experiences have provided us a wealth of information and inspiration. We are truly honored to have had you here. A sincere thanks to our Vice Principal, Dr. Janvi Talegaonkar, Dr. Sharad Agrawal sir, and the head of the Center for Learning Research and Development Center, Dr. Kiran Khette. I also thank all the team which work with us, and all the participants. Thank you all, and with the permission of the uh, respected speaker and my Vice Principal, Dr. Janita Legaonkar, and Dr. Sharad Agrawal, as well as the Dr. Kiran Khette, this webinar of the power of communication unlocking full potential is end here. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, all of you. Have a good day.
Ma'am, I'm expressing especially thanks to you. You already hold a key to unlock the knowledge for the communication. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm ending the session. Thanks for all joining. Thank you once again.
Okay.